Now, U.S. President Joe Biden wraps up a three-day visit to Asia today with a final meeting in Tokyo of the so-called Quad Alliance. Made up of the U.S., Australia, India and Japan, the regional group is seen as a counterbalance to Chinese influence in the region. Today's summit is the second face-to-face meeting of the four leaders in less than a year and comes as Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov announced Moscow's intention to build closer ties with Beijing. Now let me bring in Scott Lucas, Professor Emeritus of U.S. Politics at the University of Birmingham. So I want to ask you here to begin with, is this a new version of the Cold War that's beginning to emerge?
No. It's too simplistic and not very helpful just to slap the label Cold War on very critical cases in the 21st century, but cases which need to be evaluated individually. So let us start first of all with Russia's announcement through the Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, which is sort of it's a reaction from Moscow of concern that Finland and Sweden drawing closer to NATO, of the international support for Ukraine, which Russia did not expect going into the fourth month of the invasion. And so Lavrov says, in effect, we really would like to be your friends. You need to back away from Ukraine. But if you don't, we can always go to the Chinese. The problem with that is that the Chinese don't necessarily want to be that high profile on the Ukraine crisis. They'll denounce the invasion. They will not refer to the invasion. They will criticize sanctions, but they don't want to really carry the economic and political cost of full backing. So that takes us to the US and what is happening in Asia right now at the summit in Japan. And that is, yes, Joe Biden is saying to the Chinese, if you attack Taiwan, if you militarily try to overrun it, we will respond. Now that gets the headlines, but beyond that, it's not just the US, it's the US and the Quad, India, Australia, and Japan, with really significant economic and security steps that have been announced, including a 12-nation economic bloc to complement the Trans-Pacific Partnership and these measures for maritime security in the East and South China Seas.
So, Professor Lucas, I want to ask you about Russia's position then. We heard from Lavrov saying Russia might not even want to renew ties, or they don't have to renew ties with the West. Would you say that China offers any sort of comfortable choice then for Moscow in terms of future international relations?
Well, there's propaganda, and Foreign Minister Lavrov's very good at it. And then there's a reality. Certainly Moscow, which is facing significant economic cost and political isolation because of the invasion, would like Beijing to give high-profile support. There's no doubt about that. But the Chinese leadership, China generally does not like to get involved and be at the center of international crises. And in this case, to be effectively supporting a possible basket case Soviet economy and bailing it out, and to give it political cover at a time when most countries in the world have turned against Russia, China will be far too cautious. So a lot of chest thumping, but not necessarily substance from Mr. Lavrov on this occasion.